What's up, Tidal Wave? And if you thought Saturday night's main event was the end of this story, buckle up, because it turns out that was just the opening act, and honestly the sequel might be even more chaotic than the original. Nick Aldis has now gone from guy in a suit signing contracts to the most dangerous authority figure on SmackDown in years, and honestly, at some point WWE needs to stop calling him a general manager and start calling him a landmine. So here's the question worth sitting with: when does a boss stop managing a locker room and start becoming the biggest threat inside it? Let's lay out exactly what's confirmed, because the real timeline here is honestly better than anything a writer could invent. At Saturday night's main event in Madison Square Garden, Gunther and Sami Zayn lost their shot at turning the SummerSlam title match into a fatal four-way when Aldis pulled the referee, blasted Gunther with the championship belt, and let CM Punk finish the job with a GTS. Gunther was livid, absolutely seething after the show went off the air, and less than a day later, at WWE's Fanatics Fest event in New York, he interrupted Triple H mid-appearance in front of a live crowd, demanding real consequences for Aldis. Except Triple H didn't side with Gunther at all. He made it clear, right there on the mic, that Aldis was completely justified after everything Gunther had already put him through in recent weeks. And that's when Aldis himself showed up on that same stage, uninvited, and another fight broke out right there in front of a crowd that came expecting autographs and photo ops, not a real confrontation, with security scrambling to physically pull the two men apart while fans pulled out their phones to capture every second of it. And remember, this beef didn't start at Madison Square Garden either. Gunther choked Aldis out backstage on SmackDown just over a week before any of this, and before that, Gunther has been openly stewing since Clash in Italy, convinced he got screwed out of the WWE Championship by a referee's decision. Aldis presided over that night. So this isn't one bad night boiling over, this is weeks, maybe months, of compounding resentment finally hitting a breaking point in front of cameras that weren't even supposed to be capturing a wrestling angle in the first place. Two guys who clearly can't stand each other, kept colliding in public, over and over, until something official finally had to give. Now, before we go any further, if you're locked into this breakdown, smash the like button and get plugged into the Tidal Wave family right now, because what Triple H did next is the part nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. Here's the moment that changes everything. Right there on that stage, in front of a crowd that had no idea they were about to witness real WWE history unfold, Triple H made the call himself: Gunther versus Nick Aldis, official, for SummerSlam. Let that sink in for a second, because a lot of fans assumed WWE would keep teasing this fight for weeks, maybe even months, slowly building towards some eventual announcement down the line. Instead, Triple H skipped the slow burn completely and just lit the fuse live, in real time, no advance notice, no press release first, no creative meeting to workshop it. That's not typical hesitant WWE booking, carefully massaged in a writer's room for maximum safety. That's a chief content officer who clearly wanted this fight to happen just as badly as the fans watching at home did. Let's talk about what this means for Nick Aldis specifically, because this is the real story underneath the story most people are overlooking. This will be his first match inside a WWE ring, ever, despite a career that includes over 1,000 days as NWA World Champion and world titles in TNA, NAWA, and GFW along the way. Aldis isn't some paper-pushing authority figure playing pretend at toughness. He's a legitimately accomplished former world champion who spent years behind a desk instead of between the ropes, and Gunther just personally reminded him exactly what that ring feels like again, whether he meant to or not. So here's 3 predictions heading into SummerSlam. 1. Aldis leans fully into his old championship pedigree and shocks people with exactly how legitimate he still looks in there after all these years away from real competition. 2. Gunther, embarrassed at the idea of a boss even being in the same ring as him, tries to end this fast and brutal to make a statement before his actual issue, the WWE Championship picture, even starts to matter again down the line. And 3, the swing for the fences scenario. This match gets a mystery enforcer, somebody from the locker room stepping in on Aldis's behalf at the worst possible moment for Gunther, turning a personal grudge match into a statement about who actually runs SmackDown going forward. One of these 3 things will happen. The only question is which one, and how much fallout it creates heading into the fall. Nick Aldis just went from paperwork to pay-per-view in under 24 hours, and Gunther walked right into a fight he can't talk his way out of anymore, no matter how loud he yells about it. So here's what I want to know: does Aldis actually have a real shot at beating Gunther, or is this just a receipt getting written before it gets cashed at SummerSlam? Stick around, because next time we're breaking down what this means for the rest of the card. This has been Tidal Wave. Ride the wave.